The world is endless. So is imagination. Everything spreads around in all the directions without stopping. And we as humans hope there is an end. We hope that things will stop and that we will not be obligated to move no more. That sounded grim. I'm Rivas Mayoki, a sci-fi writer. That is the most important thing because I'm trying to sell sci-fi currently. And I'm doing this out of promotion and as a way to find, do I have anything to say in a visual media? I don't know. I think people should be allowed to make mistakes and to try new things without not without the reaction. The reaction is necessary for us to know, is our creation good or bad? Is it accepted or is it rejected? Because nothing exists in a void. We are interconnected beings that influence each other, and you can't expect freedom to say something and not get any reply. Because freedom of speech implicitly expects to reply. Because if you can say something, so can the other people. And today we live in a society that enable us to make bubbles of our own private lives. And I'm interested to see how the new generation will cope with the real world. Because in the virtual world, you can build yourself a bubble. You can block anyone who doesn't agree with you. You can follow anyone you agree with. And as soon as you don't like it anymore, you unfollow. And in a sense, virtual reality allows us to create virtual realities in which we are right and everyone who opposes us are wrong. There is no conversation. There is only build-up structures of opposing opinions where like-minded people gather around those structures and make them bigger and complex and complex and complex. It's like they're waging a war. Because when you build a fortress that's high, like a Babylon fortress, people stop understanding each other, and that's how wars begin. That's how new languages are created. That's how the borders are set. That is the way to make a divide. That's connected to my opinion that English language will soon become more than one language. And we shall see what will happen. It will be very fun to travel into the future. That is my way of thinking, that we all are time travelers. Travelers. Oh, such difficult words to say. Anyway, all of us time travel. We began in one age, and as we age, we begin in one age, and as we age, we experience the change and the time and how it changes on us. And in a sense, until we get old, it almost feels like we're in a foreign country, we're on a distant planet, and everything around us is a strange country we fail to understand. People are speaking language we fail to understand. Can you imagine what it's like to be 100 years old today? That is someone who was born in 1920s. And to go from that to here must be like a speed of light time travel. The world must be a very strange place, and people surely seem like they lost all your values. But for people born today will be normal. And that's the golden age we all are sorrowful for losing. We are not sorrowful for losing a moment in time. We are sorrowful for losing our childhood, our innocence, our build-up perception that the world around us is safe and that it will never change. And as we grow up and we realize that the change is constant and constant and constant, in a way I think that we recreate our childhood but making safe spaces of uninterrupted thought, of values that persist. And that is a conservative way of thinking. You preserve a moment in time and say, these values, this moment, this time is perfect, and everything after that moment is corruption. I feel that people mostly reach that point in their life about when they're 30, when technology stops making sense. I know that I do get very angry at technology and curse whenever it changes because I dislike learning all those new things. There's no room. But at the same time, as soon as I learn new things, I'm like, oh, this is super easy. I love this. So, in a sense, to adapt to times and to stay current, to live in the moment, you need a certain mental plasticity, the acceptance and an expectation that the world will change and that it's okay to change. I don't know. Our set of values are not equipping us really for the change that is life. We are moving forward, but reluctantly. And that answers the question my friend asked me, is how people become conservative. We felt like we will never become conservative. I'm still not there, I hope. Although I'm doubtful that all my opinions would be considered as current and okay, because I think it's silly to expect from someone in their 40s to have the same opinion about the world as someone in their 20s. It's just not really possible nor plausible. And we became conservative not because we changed into conservatives, but because the time changed. Time begins here, and you're here on your far left, you're modern and you're young and rebellious, and your parents are here. And the time changes like this, and suddenly, even if you went the straight way, you become the conservative. You are your parents, even though you still look at them and say, no, don't say that. That is racist. Please don't say that. Anyway, each generation has its own way of reckoning with change and saying what is acceptable and what is not. Of saying where should we go next and what the generation before us did wrong, what they thought wrong, and how can we fix it, because that's the point of young people. They come and they want to fix things. I know that. I was one of them. And I don't feel old yet, but it's an irony, because to get skilled at anything you need to work, you need to put your time into it. And I put most of my time into writing, and I'm a decent writer now. And I write, but I'm nearly 40 and I'm not that young person anymore that challenges things. But luckily there are always young people who manage to be writing genius and produce things on the spot. So we always have preserved that young spirit of adventure. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm saying that the world changes on us, and it changes rapidly, and it changes in an unexpected ways. And I do look forward to witness this generation in 20 years becoming in their 40s and faced with the judgment of their children. Because the judgment will be there. You won't do things perfectly. Nobody is able to do that, because there is not a perfect solution for life. There is only the process of making life. And I think that the change itself makes life bearable, because you constantly have something new to think about, something new to do, something new challenges. If things get the same for too long, I think that you get the dark ages. People get bored and start to hunt witches. Maybe we're at that point of history. People got bored and started to hunt for witches. Or how my friend put it, Romans just had feast and baited. I won't say the other thing he said. And they were overthrown because the poor mob was angry at the elite that was bathing and eating and throwing around stuff and being ungrateful. I think we are at that point of history. There is people who are overly rich and overly privileged, who are not seeming to be grateful for what they have, and there is a vast majority of people that is poor. Ooh, I don't like that perspective. I hope that I will have a peaceful piece of time for myself and not to witness great wars. I am hopeful that we will not see great wars, even though there is always a room for a war. I don't know, I grew up in a war, so I'm not really very fond of them. Just saying. Please don't make a war somewhere. We have to live and find a new way to entertain ourselves and to be grateful and to be less greedy. I think that greed is the problem that causes people to get outraged. Anyway, as you can see, when I stand, I can talk and talk and talk. That's it for today. I hope that I will think of something this day. Bye bye.